Hey everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. So we're on the eve of WrestleMania 41 from Las Vegas. So one big picture thing before we actually get to the showcase of the Immortals. Um, I see a lot of, narratives being spun that, hey, this WrestleMania doesn't really feel like WrestleMania. The build has been kind of lackluster, like the main matches feel big. Some of these other things, it feels like a card for a Raw or SmackDown or sort of maybe like a lower level premium live event. Okay. So let me address this for a second. I think part of the reason why WrestleMania 41 has felt a little bit underwhelming, guys, do you remember how epic last year was? It's maybe the greatest WrestleMania of all time. So many amazing things happened over the course of the night. You had Damian Priest cashing in his money in the big briefcase, only the second time that's ever happened. CM Punk getting involved, screwing Drew McIntyre after holding the title for 6 minutes. Seth Rollins' iconic two-night performance. Rock returning in an actual wrestling match, which was great. Cody finishing his story like Io and Bailey had a great match. Rhea and Becky had a great match. It was an epic 2 nights. And the build that led up to that with The Rock and obviously that famed pivot from him being facing Roman to him tagging with Roman and then the bloodline rules, and that amazing 5-minute stretch to close WrestleMania followed by the celebration. It's all time stuff. So I think a lot of us going into this thing were expecting, oh yeah, hey, we're gonna get something similar. CM Punk's healthy, and the roster's as deep as it's ever been. It's John Cena's final year, and so many of these different things come together. And then the build kind of starts up underwhelming. Jey Uso wins the Rumble, Charlotte wins the Rumble, and we kind of get those matches set up pretty quickly. And those were built kind of underwhelming until the end when they kind of heated up for their own different reasons. John Cena turns heel, which was the big hook, and he's barely around. And Cody Rhodes has to kind of carry the load. And then some of these other matches kind of came together at the last minute. I know a lot of people are mad that, they're doing a TLC match between the Street Profits, DIY, and the Motor City Machine Guns on SmackDown next week, which got an audible groan from the fans in Las Vegas for WrestleMania SmackDown, which I understand. Listen, I kind of get, and putting the New Day versus War Raiders after it was just a TV match feels kind of underwhelming. I think the reason why they did that is because I think something's going to happen with Big E. I don't know what it is, but if Big E is not involved in that at all, that is a huge misfire from WWE to not put a TLC match with the better tag team division on that show. So there has been some missteps here. They're bound to make some mistakes, but I think the real reason at the core of why we're looking at this WrestleMania as kind of underwhelming is because, hey, let's be real. It was going to be hard to match up to what happened last year in Philadelphia. Like I said, that is an all-timer. We've always classified WrestleMania 17 as considered one of the best WWE shows, one of the best WrestleManias of all time. WrestleMania 40 is like close to that bill. Like WrestleMania 30 is always up there. I think WrestleMania 19 is a very underrated one. WrestleMania 31, which I would honestly kind of liken this show, this WrestleMania 41, the build, and what I think is going to happen to what happened at WrestleMania 31. Like it was a very underwhelming build. If you guys remember, Brock Lesnar faces Roman Reigns in a match that nobody wanted to see. Seth Rollins comes out for the heist of the century. You had some good matches mixed in between that as well. And, what was seemingly a lackluster card turned into one of the better WrestleManias of all time. I'm not saying that this is going to be WrestleMania 31, but I think, coming off of an all-time WrestleMania, it was going to be a tough act to follow. Yes, WWE made some booking mistakes and Triple H has kind of made some errors, and some of these stories have taken a lot longer to marinate. And for whatever reason or not, they've either clicked or they took a while to click. Some of these matches seem thrown together, but I still think that this show is going to deliver in large part because the talent pool that they have in this company is as good as it's ever been. The star power at the top, like specifically the big matches the big matches for the show, which meaning to me, really, the main events of both nights are going to be spectacular and they're going to have a ton of story driven into both of them. So you're going to get a great conclusion to both of them. And then, hey, Jade and Naomi, really underrated feud, even in a non title capacity. The women, I think, are going to really shine. I think Charlotte and Tiffany will have a really good match, and they've added some real like blurred the lines really with some heat. Even if it was Jey Uso is going to be a great moment, he should win the world title, and it'll be great. And then Io, Bianca, and Rhea, and you see on SmackDown they kind of wove the Jey Naomi story into it, so there's some intrigue there. And then on top of it, you get like I'm not going to say a gift. It's a very unfortunate situation with Kevin Owens not being able to participate in this Mania, but now you've added an element of intrigue with who the hell is going to face Randy Orton. And it's going to be a mystery opponent, whether it's Rusev or whether it's somebody else, or, they come up with some random person to, make an element of surprise. It's going to be fun. But yeah, like I said, I think the big reason why, the, buzz around this WrestleMania is, for one, it's a couple weeks later than it normally is. The build is taking a little bit longer to, marinate, but above all else, to follow what happened last year was going to be hard to do. Like, no matter what they did, it was going to be really a tough act to follow. So, yeah, they have had some compelling things, but it's not nearly like, in terms of like the compelling television from week to week as what it was, because like, some of the particulars weren't there. Rock was way more involved. Rock's barely there. Cena's barely there for that big story. And, we know Roman's schedule has been kind of, intermittently dispersed. And like he was gone pretty much since the Royal Rumble until he came back for that, that Madison Square Garden run in the cage match. So, yeah, but all in all, I think the show's going to be fine. And I think we're going to be remembering it. Maybe not like, in the same annals as WrestleMania 40, but there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think the show's going to be terrible or anything like that. I think these men and women are going to put on a great effort in Las Vegas over the next couple of nights. So again, come hang with us here on the channel. We will have a live watch along starting at 6:45 Eastern time, 3:45 Pacific, through the entire night. We'll have post show coverage, all the jazz here on the channel. Everybody who's ridden with me through this, like over 1,100 subscribers. You guys are fucking awesome. I love you guys. Like seriously, I'm just a guy from Southern California, talking about wrestling, talking about sports on this channel. So to get to a big weekend like this, do some stuff, and just hang with you guys. It's this is the dream. This is the dream. So thank you so much. I will see you guys for the watch alongs on Saturday and Sunday night. Until then, I will see you next time. Bye bye.